All right, friends, Mrs. Ibarra here, and thank you for joining us today. The career person I have is a dear friend of mine, and I'll let her introduce herself to you with her name and what she does, and then we'll get into some more questions. So, guest, you are welcome to take it away.
Wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cindy Diaz-Telly. I live in the city of Fillmore and have been dear friends with Jacqueline and her family for quite some time. And I am a realtor. And that's a fancy word for the fact that I help people buy and sell their houses.
Wow. So, a wild guess. How many houses do you think you have sold?
Oh my goodness. I've been a realtor for almost 21 years. So I'm going to say probably more than 3,000 houses by now.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
But you
lots.
must love being a realtor. You must love selling and helping people buy a house. So what's a typical day of a realtor? I'm guessing every day is very different, but how does your morning start all the way until the end of your day? Just some quick
Yeah.
highlights.
Well, my morning usually starts about 5:30, and I usually take about 30 minutes or so to read. I like to read, so I open up a book and something that's uplifting, and I read for about 30 minutes with my cup of tea or coffee. Then I get ready for the day, just like you see me, have to get into my work clothes and everything because I never know where the day might take me. I check my appointments for the day that I know for sure, and then I see where I have windows of time that I might have to fill in with somebody else who needs my help unexpectedly.
Okay.
Yep. Usually my days are about somewhere to maybe 10, maybe 12 hours long.
Wow. Say that again.
Maybe 10 to 12 hours long.
That is a really long day. Wow. So, but you must love it. So tell us what it is that you love about being a realtor.
Probably one of the best things about being a realtor is for the family that is buying a home. The best moment is when you're showing them a house and they are kind of starting to really like the house. And then the kids, when kids are with us, they start running in the house and picking out their new rooms. And you can see that they can see their future as a family in that home. And the day that I hopefully get to hand them their keys to that house, if it all works out, that is the actual best day ever. That keeps me, every time I get to do that, that keeps me completely overjoyed with what I chose to do for my job.
That's sweet. Is there anything that is not, that's just a hard thing about being a realtor, something that you don't particularly love about being a realtor?
Sometimes it can be a little hard when somebody isn't doing things the fairest way. And that can be said with lots of things. Maybe if you're playing on the playground, somebody's not playing fair. Your feelings can get hurt. Your friends get upset. Sometimes things like that can happen in real estate too, because maybe somebody on the other side of your sale isn't acting fair or is maybe being even a little bit of a bully.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sometimes Miss Cindy has to speak very direct with her outside voice, not her inside voice.
That's okay. So I was going to ask you next, what skills, if someone wants to be a realtor, what are some things that they should already be good at or comfortable doing?
Oh, that's a good question. One of the most important things about being a realtor is you have to have a love for serving people. No matter what they might need from you. Maybe it won't always be that they need to buy or sell a house. Maybe they just need a referral to something or someone, or they just need an ear to talk to because they're going through something and it's affecting life in general. The most important thing is you have to have a love for people and serving people at whatever level they need you. The second most important thing is that you have to be very flexible and you have to be able to adapt to change quickly.
Oh.
Some people like that routine and they don't want it to change, or it completely upsets their life cycle. But if you can adapt to change and change quickly, then you'll love real estate, because no 2 days are ever the same.
Well, thank you. And I'm sure thank you for taking time away from your day. I'm sure it's this busy. So I just have one last question, and I'm going to have a friend ask it. Is that okay?
Sure.
Are you interested to meet my friend?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so this is my friend, Dr. Luca. And Dr. Luca, like you, is a working professional, except he doesn't sell homes, right? Um, Tell us, go ahead, Dr. Luca, what you do. Well, I am a practicing physician. That means a doctor, and I help people feel better. Nice to meet you, Cindy.
Nice to meet you too.
So we were just talking about burnout, and burnout is a word that everyone might not know, but it just means when we are working so hard, or we're on a device, or we're doing something for a long time, and we can feel that in our body that we just need to take a break. And you mentioned to us that your days are really long. And I'm guessing, especially with quarantine, a lot of your work hours are on a device. Is that true?
That is very true.
So, Dr. Luhao, go ahead and ask Cindy what you wanted to ask her. Well, we were curious. What do you do if you're feeling that burnout, that really that feeling of high stress? I know for me at the hospital, I'll take a break and I'll just do some stretching. I'll go in the garden. But what about you, Cindy? How do you know when it's time to walk away from a device?
That's a super good question. And I think right now we have to be very focused, because with kids, all of you distance learning and playing on your devices and games and everything else, much like Miss Cindy, who's on her laptop and her iPad and her cell phone, there is just always a screen to stare at. And we didn't even mention your TV. So one of the things that I do regularly is I make sure that all my devices are turned off at least an hour before I go to bed. I don't stare at anything. I don't go on any social media. I turn everything off. I put it on the charger, and then I will either get one of my books, because I like books where you can turn the page, not just my Kindle, but where you can turn the page. I'll get a book and I'll read, or I'll work on one of my puzzles because I like to do puzzles. Or I'll just sit and I'll just talk with my husband. We'll sit out on the porch and talk, or something like that, just so that my eyes can rest, I can decompress. And when I go to sleep, I'm not worried about whatever the last thing was that I saw on a computer or my iPad or something like that. And sometimes it's important that we step away and just put it in another room, kind of like for those of us that are adults and drive, we're not driving and texting and all of those things, where we have to put our phones away when we're driving. And it's kind of a nice rest for us, because we have to pay attention to our driving. For kids right now, you should certainly pay attention, put it in another room, and then walk away and go and do something else. Go outside, go in your backyard, pick up a book. Books are good. And just do something else that's not electronic.
That's good advice. That is really good advice. Don't you agree? Oh, yes, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Cindy. I know you're busy, but this was a well of information. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It was wonderful to see you both.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.